everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cracked and Constructed, this time featuring Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It's that time of year again where we get to do another pre-release. This time we are doing it for Kamigawa, and we're going to go ahead and open up this pre-release kit, see what we find, and we'll go ahead and build a limited deck with that in mind. We have our die there. We got a blue one. Our pre-release foil here is the Inventive Iteration. Just open that up real quick, see the back side of that. So I got 4 mana, 3 in a blue. You can return a creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand when this comes into play. The next turn, you can return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand, and if you're not able to do that, you get to draw a card. And then you get a nice little 3/3 flyer that whenever you cast a spell, your opponents can't cast spells with the same mana value until your next turn. So that's our pre-release foil. We'll go ahead and open up these packs and see what we have. Just so all of you know, if you feel like trying to make a deck out of this, we are going to post in the description a list of all the cards that we opened up here. So you will have a chance to kind of in depth take a look at these cards if you didn't have enough time from me just going through these. So a lot of these I'm not going to worry about too much as far as reading what they do. We can always take a look at those by looking at the description later on. I always like to sort out my cards based on the color when I'm working on my limited game. We do get a mythic. You always like to see bombs when you're doing limited, whether it's draft or sealed. In this case, sealed, obviously. We have Ao, or Ao, I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, honestly. The Dawn Sky. We get a foil, plus a nice land there. Oops. The prototype. Uncommons, we got a Blossom Prancer, Tempered in Solitude, not a very good card, honestly, and a Futurist Operative. And to go along with our white mythic, we get a white rare, nice little removal spell there. Some fixing, possibly. Oh, we got the Frog token. There's a rare that lets you make, I don't even want to try to pronounce that, honestly. Kind of like Evolving Wilds, some more fixing for us. We get the Wanderer's Intervention, that's a nice little removal spell. So our white is looking decent. We have 2 rares already, or a rare and a mythic in those colors. Containment Construct, very good in older formats. I'm not sure how it is in this format. We get the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. 3 mana, you get a 2/2 that whenever it attacks, you make a treasure token. The next turn, you can discard up to 2 cards and then draw that many cards. And then you get a fixed version of Kiki Jiki where you have to pay 1 mana to create a token. That's a copy of another non-legendary creature. Just a basic land and a samurai token. Right, more Evolving Wilds, essentially. So we have a lot of fixing options, so maybe we can go a few extra colors if we felt the need to. Covert Technician, Kappa Tech Wrecker. We get a Jukai Naturalist. Nice rare here. It's always good when your rare is also colorless. This one's pretty good. The Reckoner Bank Buster allows you to draw cards. A Jungle Hollow, and a Human Monk. The fixing actually looks really good in this pool, so if we want to play more colors, it looks like we're going to be able to do so. I get a Grafted Growth, some more commons. That was my first multicolor down there. Another multicolor. Uprising Renegade. We get the Biting Palm Ninja, 3 mana 3/3. It's got ninjutsu of 3 mana. It enters with a menace counter on it, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can remove the menace counter from it. And if you do, you basically get to thought seize them, except the card gets exiled. To go along with that, we get a foil rare. We get the Weaver of Harmony, 2 mana 2/2. Other enchantment creatures get +1/+1. And for green, you can copy an activated or triggered ability of an enchantment source. And pretty cool looking treasure token. All right, one more pack. Spell Pierce is back in standard. Roadside Reliquary, Akiba Salvage, and the Bad March, the green one, March of Burgeoning Life. Probably not going to be very good in sealed, I would imagine. And Thornwood Falls. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and make a deck off camera, and I'll go through it just in a moment. If you want to, feel free to take a look at the deck list down below. You can see all the cards available in this pool. You can try to create your own deck list. If you want to comment, feel free to leave us a deck list. We can kind of take a look at it and see what we come up with. And just like that, we have ourselves a deck. We'll see how it compares to what you guys came up with. First card here, I have Intercessor's Arrest. Nice little 3 mana pacify. It also has the upside of making it so that people cannot use their vehicles either. So, pretty good there. Kind of continuing along with the removal, we have Wanderer's Intervention. Just 2 mana to deal 4 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. We have a 3 mana Oblivion Ring style effect. It only hits artifacts and creatures. It also gives us the minor upside of being able to discard it to basically flicker one of our own creatures, most likely. That way we're going to be able to fade some sort of removal spell that our opponent might have. So pretty nice flexibility there. More removal, we have March of Otherworldly Light. It allows us to get rid of an artifact, creature, and enchantment with mana value X or less, and we can exile white cards to help buffer that cost of X if we want. Arrow of Enlightenment, just a 2 mana creature eventually, turns into a 2/2 with first strike, gains us some life, lets us scry through our deck. And then obviously we had to play Ao, the Dawn Sky. Nice 5 mana 5/4 Flying Vigilance. When it dies, we can either kind of Coco for any number of permanents with total mana value 4 or less, put them onto the battlefield, or we can put 2 counters on all of our creatures and vehicles. Getting into the black cards, I have Gravelighter, 3 mana 2/2 flyer. When it enters, if a creature died this turn, I get to draw a card. If not, everybody sacrifices a creature. A 2 mana 1/2 flyer that I can pump for 4 mana. Lethal Exploit, a little bit more removal. 2 mana instant speed, give a creature -2/-2, and then it gets an additional -1/-1 for each modified creature we control, which our deck has the ability to make a decent number of modified creatures. It won't probably be more than 1 or 2 at a time. But 2 mana to give a creature -2 or up to maybe -4 or 5 is pretty good. And then finally we have a Biting Palm Ninja. 3 mana 3/3. Comes in with Menace, so it's a 3 mana 3/3 with Menace. And we have the ability to remove that Menace counter when this deals combat damage to Thoughtseize our opponent. Getting into the green cards, we have a Story Weave. Nice combat trick, allows us to put 2 counters on a creature at instant speed. Helps buffer our modifications, so if anything cares about modified creatures, this will help us get there. We only have a couple sagas in the deck, but we might want to put some extra lower counters on them, turn them into creatures quicker, and it does buffer the creatures as well by giving them 2 counters on them. We have Azusa's Many Journeys, nice card, basically letting us explore. It doesn't give us the card draw, but eventually it does turn into a 3/3 creature for just 2 mana. We have some enchantment creatures. We have Bearer of Memory. We actually have 2 of these. If I find the other one there. We have 2 Bearer of Memories, just 3 mana 3/2. For 6 mana we can put a counter on an enchantment creature and then have it gain trample until end of turn. So we have 2 of those. We have a Blossom Prancer, 5 mana 4/4 with Reach. Secret Reach, a lot of people are probably going to forget that this card has Reach when they're playing on Arena or in paper during the upcoming pre-release events. Nice card. Look at the top 5 and you can put an enchantment or a creature card into your hand. And then if you didn't do that, you get to gain 4 life. Another removal spell with Master's Rebuke. You basically just get to punch a creature or planeswalker you don't control. So it's not a fight, but it's a punch. We have Bamboo Grove Archer. Nice little card. 2 mana 3/3 with Defender and Reach. Later in the game, you can pay 5 mana to discard it and destroy a creature with flying. Nice versatility there. 2 mana 1/3, the Kappa Wrecker. It has ninjutsu, but it also enters the battlefield with a death touch counter on it. If it deals combat damage to a player, you can remove a death touch counter to exile an artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. We do have some enchantment creatures in our deck, so we're going to go ahead and play this 2 mana 2/2 Weaver of Harmony that gives our other enchantment creatures +1/+1. It also allows us to copy activated or triggered abilities from an enchantment source. So if we want to copy maybe a Saga lore counter going on, or if we want to double up the counters, instead of paying 12 mana to get 2 counters with the other enchantment ability, we can just pay 7 mana to get 2 counters with this out. We have a Gloom Shrieker, basically an Eternal Witness, 3 mana 2/1. It does have Menace. When it enters, you get to return a permanent card. So not any card, just permanents from your graveyard to your hand. If it dies, it gets exiled. We have a Jukai Naturalist, 2 mana 2/2 lifelink, makes our enchantments a little bit cheaper. Running this Iron Apprentice, it's just a 1 mana 1/1. However, when it dies, we do get to move the counter around, so it does help with modified creatures a little bit. To go along with that, we also have a Reckoner Bankbuster here. 2 mana 4/4 vehicle, enters with 3 charge counters on it. You pay 2 mana to remove a charge counter and draw a card. And then when the last one's removed, you make a 1/1 pilot that is able to crew something as well as some treasure. In the land department, we have 3 non-basics. We have a Jungle Hollow, as well as 2 Uncharted Havens. The Uncharted Havens, you get to pick a color when they enter. They do come in tapped, and then they tap for 1 mana of that color. To go along with that, we also have 5 basic plains, 3 swamps, and 6 forests. Feel free to let us know down in the comments below what kind of decks you came up with yourself. Again, in the description, you'll be able to find the full list of cards that were available in this pool. If you want to go through and create your own deck, you can do so there. Until next time, this has been the Mana Vault.